Sasa nimepata mkate wa kila siku. Kitu ya pili imenisaidia, nimeanzia project yangu binafsi huko nyumbani. So sasa hii mimi pia nimeweza kuweka mtu mmoja pia anifanyie kazi. So sasa hapo tunaendelea kuinuka kijamii juu after kumsaidia na yeye atasaidia mwingine. Sasa ikiwa kama chini. Makao bora, maisha bora.
On this Mashujaa Day, we choose to celebrate the unsung heroes in our society.
My teaching philosophy is just one thing, that every student who comes before me is a gift from God and is a leader. I have to harness that talent that is in you. But then what I've realized is this: when we get close and we start talking at this level, the student behaves well for you.
Yeah.
It's human.
To be honest, teaching has to be one of the most selfless professions on earth. You know,
Right,
it's
yeah.
very close to the doctors and the nurses, because I don't think I'm a very patient person.
I want to speak to children. Really, nobody will give you equal opportunity. You fight for it.
You fight for it. Yes.
So gather your muscles from the inside and tell yourself, I didn't choose my parents, they did not choose you either. We children never chose our parents. But now that I have been born, as much as possible, find your place in this world.
Beautiful afternoon to you from wherever you're watching this live broadcast from, and thank you so much for making time for us this Saturday afternoon. A lot of stories you're keeping a keen eye on for you, including the Mashujaa Day preparations that are set to take place tomorrow in Kwale County. This is KBC Lunchtime News. I'm Doreen Arange. Lucy Mora is our sign language interpreter. And now, over 550,000 people have applied for houses under the Affordable Housing Project. According to the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, there is a demand for more than 2 million housing units. Speaking in Kwale County, Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works and Housing, Ali Swahome, said the program is aimed at mainly job creation and providing decent, affordable housing to Kenyans.
We need at least 2 million houses or housing units. You rent a one door for a family or for a single occupier. We need at least 2 million units. That is the deficit we are struggling with. With that, assessing our financial capacities and investments that we may be able to attract, we require at least to do 200,000 units per year. That therefore means that we have to roll out a very robust program, which we have done with the support of Treasury, with the support of Kenyans, and we realized that therefore then we needed to fund that program. And that's how we came up with the housing levy, a housing fund levy.
Elsewhere, 2 businessmen have denied 3 charges of conspiring to defraud a businessman of land valued at 230 million shillings. According to the prosecution, the duo Jacob Mwangi and Patrick Magu allegedly forged a letter of allotment which they purported to have been allocated 1.3 hectares of land belonging to Thome Dynamic Limited by Nairobi City County. However, their lawyers urged the court to disregard the amount drafted in the charge sheet, arguing the members were exaggerated and meant to frustrate the accused persons. A pre-trial date has been set for 4th November.
With conspiracy to defraud, contrary to Section 317 of the Penal Code, Cap 63 laws of Kenya. 11391, measuring 1.30 ha, valued at approximately 230 million, purporting it to be genuine and valid letter of allotment issued by Nairobi City County, a fact you knew to be false, true or false. On 27th day of April 2021 at Milimani Law Courts within Nairobi County, knowingly and fraudulently uttered a forged letter of allotment for land parcel number LR 209/11391.
The both accused persons are not flight risk for reasons that they are readily available. And they had actually surrendered themselves to the police yesterday when they were summoned, only for them to be slapped with these charges. Your Honor, in applying for reasonable cash bails, we wish the court to take into consideration that both of them are not, they don't have a lot of money. Neither do they have, they are just small businessmen.
And now to the Mashujaa Day preparations, where the host county, which is Kwale, is set to host the 61st Mashujaa Day national celebrations on Sunday at the newly built 10,200-seater capacity Kwale Stadium. While briefing the media, Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha, accompanied by the government spokesperson and host of principal secretaries, assured residents and visitors that the security has been enhanced and traffic on busy roads managed to and from the region managed to ensure festivities run smoothly. Our very own Kamche Menza is there for us. Kamche, you have been in Kwale County ahead of this 61st day Mashujaa Day celebrations. How are the preparations coming along? What is the feel of residents from Kwale?
We are in Kwale County, where we are just counting hours to the Mashujaa celebrations, and yes, indeed, we are in Kwale County because this is the county that is hosting those celebrations. And just to inform our viewer is that this will be the first national celebration for this county to be marking. And it's one of the counties that, of course, has seen its growth way back from the independence all the way up to now. Kwale County boasts of, a well economic and agricultural activities. We understand that there is Ukunda, which is one of the places that has the Diani, the one that hosts the major hotels. And of course, you will remember also or recall that Diani is one of the areas, the beaches or the hotels that were said to be the cleanest in terms of, or rather be the best in terms of cleanliness, peace, and also hospitality. So of course, Kwale County has a lot to offer. And without much ado, just allow me to talk to some of the residents here to tell us what their expectations are. This being the first national celebration, what do they feel about this? Karibu.
Asante.
Tuelezee tu kuhusu sherehe za Mashujaa Day ambazo zitafanywa huku Kwale kesho. Sijui kama unafahamu, na je, hii ni furaha kwenu ama mnahisi vipi?
Kiufupi kwanza tunashukuru kwa hii shughuli tunayoandaliwa, na kiufupi sote tunafurahia hii shujaa yetu inayoendelea, kwa sababu kiufupi kuna maendeleo mengi tumefanyiwa lakini kitu chenye kinatupatia changamoto sisi kama bodaboda, kuna haya mambo yetu ya matenti hapa. Tenti lishavunjwa, sasa tunapigwa na jua, kazi yetu sasa inakuwa changamoto sana hapa kwetu lakini kuhusu Mashujaa mambo mengine yote tunamshukuru sana.
Maendeleo gani ambayo mmeyaona pengine?
Hapa maendeleo yenyewe tumeshayaona sisi, kwa sababu kama kuna barabara nyingi sana zilikuwa ovyo ovyo na zote zimeshakamilishwa, na kuna vitu vingine kama vitongoji vya maji hapa, zote tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu, tushafanikishwa zote
All right, many benefits. I would just like to indicate also the airstrip has also been improved, but before that just let me get one view from the resident. Habari yako baba?
Nzuri baba.
Kuna Mashujaa itakuwa hapa kesho. Unahisi vipi kama mwenyeji?
Mimi ninaona kama hii ni siku kubwa sana kwa sisi watu wa Kwale, kwa sababu ni Mashujaa ya kwanza kuadhimishwa kitaifa hapa Kwale, na pia kusherehekea hii Mashujaa Day, yale matayarisho peke yake yameinua Kwale County kwa jumla. Hii ni hadhi kubwa sana, kwa sababu tumepata miundo msingi ambayo kutoka wakati wa uhuru, tupate uhuru, tulikuwa sisi hatujaipata, lakini kwa sababu serikali yetu ya kitaifa imechagua kufanya hai sikukuu hapa kwetu, hii imeinua hadhi ya Kwale. Na pia naona miundo msingi, biashara itainuka, kimichezo pia tumeweza kupata uwanja wa kitaifa na kimataifa, na hata pia tumepata.
Asante baba, ngoja nizungumze na wewe dakika moja tu. They have so much to say about the benefits that they have received owing to these events being held here, or the celebrations being held here, but I'll just talk to them later. For now, Doreen, let me hand it over back to you in studio.
Indeed, they are excited. The residents from Kwale County, that's our very own Kamchi Menza, who is tracking the preparations of this 61st Mashujaa Day celebrations set to happen in Kwale County under the theme of affordable housing. Now, back in studio, the government has instructed 19 senior government officials serving in the office of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, to proceed on compulsory leave immediately. The directive, signed by Principal Administrative Secretary Patrick Mwangi, indicates the decision was made following the ongoing constitutional process affecting the Deputy President. All heads of departments in the office of the Deputy President have also been directed to designate in writing junior officers to be in charge of their respective departments.
Starting 17th September, the traditional 32 group phase stage will be replaced by a 36 league phase format. In the new format, teams ranking from number 1 to 8 will automatically qualify to the round of 16. Teams ranking from number 9 to 24 will go to a two-leg knockout phase to qualify for the round of 16. But teams ranking from number 25 to 36 will automatically be eliminated from all UEFA competitions. Upgrade to DSTV Compact Plus and catch all UEFA competitions live on DSTV.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2024. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started to beat the November 1st deadline. It's your turn. Report and surrender today. Please note that failure to report and surrender qualifying unclaimed financial assets attract penalties and sanctions in line with Section 33 of the UFA Act 2011. UFAA. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Majina naitwa Steven Bwire Omanyo. Awali kwa ile utendakazi tulikuja tukaona watu wanachoka saa zingine kama kutumia kijiko kuweka kwa bucket, tena ifike pale juu watumie kuweka kwa bucket. Tukaona ni afadhali watu wakiwa wanainua tu mchanga, wainue kokoto, wakiweka tu pale, ile mixer ikimwaga pale ndani, kienda pale juu inafunguliwa, inamwaga kwa wilibaro, kazi inakuwa rahisi. Mashini hii inarahisisha kazi, kupandisha kokoto wakati wanakoroga, kupandisha mawe, inaweza pandishia fundi mchanga, inaweza pandisha simiti, inaweza pandisha maji. Muda ambao ingepotea kama masaa 3-4, hii mashini itakuwa imesongeza kazi na imeenda mbio kabisa. Kazi ya kutengeneza mashini ni kazi nimejifunzia nikiwa Mombasa. Affordable housing iko na nafasi nyingi ya kubuni kazi nyingi mpaka watu wapate kazi. Ndio hivi saa hii imenifikisha, nimefika Murang'a kwa sababu ya kazi ya welding na kazi ya kubuni. Sisi mafundi, makao bora, maisha bora.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News, and now we revisit our earlier story where the government has now instructed 19 of the senior government officials serving in the office of the deputy to proceed on compulsory leave immediately. The directive signed by Principal Administrative Secretary Patrick Mwangi indicates the decision was made following the ongoing constitutional processes that are affecting the Deputy President. Also, all heads of departments in the office of the DP have been directed to designate in writing junior officers to be in charge of their respective departments. Kevin Washira with the details.
An internal memo released on Friday 18th October directs 19 senior officials, including 10 advisors serving under Rigathi Gachagua, to proceed on compulsory leave with immediate effect. Heads of departments in the office of the Deputy President have also been directed to designate in writing junior officers to be in charge of their respective departments. All serving officers in supernumerary contracts have also been sent on compulsory leave. The memo, signed by Principal Administrative Secretary Patrick Mwangi and copied to the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, indicates the decision to send the officers on compulsory leave was made following the ongoing constitutional process affecting the Deputy President. The High Court is set to give a verdict on the replacement of Rigathi Gachagua on Thursday, 24th October. Gishoke Washira, Lunchtime News.
The International Institute for Legislative Affairs is stepping up efforts in fighting alcoholism and its effects in the country. The Institute's policy and program officer Fabian Obiri lauded the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse for its sensitization programs. Obiri said they will continue partnering with NACADA to ensure adherence to the Alcohol Control Act. He made the remarks during a roundtable with editors to discuss the state of the country's public health in relation to the consumption of alcohol, public opinion, attitudes, and support for government's action.
That's why if you have seen some notices from NACADA as CEO, banning the erections of billboards within school environment.
To some politics now, the Orange Democratic Movement leaders say the party will field a presidential candidate in 2027 to compete with President William Ruto. ODM Deputy Party Leader Abdul Samad Sharif Nasser said although several of their colleagues have been appointed to the government, the party has not joined the government. He says ODM is committed to playing its opposition role, calling on party members to solve their differences in order to increase their chances of electing their leaders on the ODM party ticket.
Tukasema ya kwa nchi ni bora kuliko binadamu. We put our aspirations behind and we put the country in front. It does not mean that we are in government. Tuelewane hapo. Sisi hatuko katika serikali. Sijui kama tumeelewana. Sisi anayekuuliza ya kwa mambo ya broad base kama tuko katika serikali, waambie tunaanza kuvaa njumu zetu kwa sababu ya mwaka 2027.
Hatuna maktaba yoyote. Kwa hivyo ODM is a standing alone party, na vile vyama vingine pia viko tofauti.
To some health matters now, healthcare institutions across the country have been challenged to embrace the recently rolled out Social Health Insurance Fund system for access to affordable healthcare. During the launch of Dr. Kalebi Labs in Nairobi, the founder, Dr. Ahmed Kalebi, noted the new scheme will provide quality healthcare as envisioned in the Universal Health Coverage Agenda. At the same time, health stakeholders at the forum also called for public-private partnership to enhance access.
Initiative. Of course, there's the issue of corruption, the issue of leakage, but the Social Health Authority, as it's structured, is able to deal with that much better than NHIF will ever have done. So now the thing is, instead of being skeptical, we have to try and make things work. It's a fully automated lab, or one of its kind, and there are more than 20 different technologies that we have introduced in this lab that have never been introduced in this country before, and some of them in the whole continent, from things like automated lab technology tests in terms of chemistry, total automation, hematology, to things like PCR, where we are doing a lot of tests for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and the rest. Even very soon we are introducing paternity tests and genetic sequencing.
The county government of Kilifi, in partnership with the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, has launched the construction of road projects worth 1.1 billion Kenyan shillings in various informal settlements across the country. Speaking during the launch of the projects, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mung'aro urged residents to cooperate with the national and county government so that the projects can be implemented on time. He reiterated that the projects include the issuance of title deeds, erecting of street lights and drainage systems.
World Bank Kenya Informal Structure Infrastructure Program ambayo ni KISIP na inapeana title deed na barabara. Sasa tulipeana title deed hapa Kibokoni Muyeye ambako leo tumeanzisha barabara za Muyeye za milioni 382 na vyoo vya milioni 62 na barabara zingine ambazo county inajenga karibu milioni 450. Sasa hii tuko hapa Kibokoni tunaanzisha mradi wa tena kama huo wa barabara na mataa ambao utagharimu milioni 282. Hii yote ni katika ile miradi ambayo tumeanzisha. Kwa hivyo Kilifi, Muyeye na hapa gharama yake itakuwa kama bilioni 1.1.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute is conducting a study on 2 endangered indigenous fish species, Oreochromis esculentus, commonly known as ngege, and Oreochromis variabilis, mbiru, which one thrived in Lake Victoria during the 1950s, but are now on the verge of extinction. The research, supported by international partners, is focusing on the performance and nutritional value of the ngege and mbiru by comparing them to the Nile tilapia. Researchers hope to determine if the indigenous species can contribute to food security and nutrition.
These are now mbiru. Ngege. These are ngege. We are all aware that protein source is one of the most expensive commodities in the market, be it cereals or animal source. And so fish prices are not quite as escalated as probably the other animals' protein sources are concerned in the market. And so bringing this fish on board, we are looking at the nutritional value that they are likely to bring. And so the research that the project is doing by the support of Boston University and Plus Fish Philanthropy is to check when we subject these fish into the same diet that we are giving tilapia niloticus. Are they going to have the same nutritional value?
A section of residents in Miyuga and Mawego villages in Homa Bay County are calling for experts and authorities to investigate a mysterious phenomenon that has occurred twice within a month. The phenomenon, which resembles a localized storm, struck at around 5 p.m., blowing off roofs and posing danger to the lives of the locals. Rosa Wino, Missouri, had her crops and water tank damaged by the storm, and as the community grapples with the aftermath, the need for swift and thorough investigation is becoming increasingly urgent to safeguard lives and property from future incidences.
So that they advise us, they tell us where we went wrong and what we need to correct, because I've lived in this community for 30 years and I've never seen this experience that I experienced last month that is also repeated.
Unga zingine zilishakwa jana, ilibidi tulipe kitu mvua ilifanya. Ni upepo ndio ilifanya hii kitu. So sisi tunataka tu usaidizi kwa wasamaria wema wenye wanaweza tusaidia kidogo kidogo.
Pata usaidizi wote ili tusaidike kwa hiyo jambo ambayo imefanyika. Juu hadi paa ya nyumba ambayo tunaishi iliharibika kwa kiwango yenye inafaa irekebishwe ili tuzidi kuishi ndani.
Northern Corridor partner states have termed land acquisition as the main challenge in implementing some of the Northern Corridor integration projects. During a two-day consultative meeting in Nairobi County that brought together delegates from Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and South Sudan, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Nixon Korir, expressed optimism about the future of Northern Corridor integration projects, emphasizing the need for continued multilateral cooperation to address development challenges. Don Besije, the Uganda head of delegation, confirmed that construction of the standard gauge railway connecting Malaba to Kampala is on course.
As land, we needed to ensure that there is ease of doing things, be it compensations that needs to be done so that we can be able to tie the project that cuts across. You'll realize that there are roads that we are building that will cut across from Kenya to South Sudan. There are roads that cuts across from Kenya to Uganda to Rwanda. And therefore, for the successful implementation of such projects, then you need each country to prepare and be able to ensure that there is readiness to implement that project. And
Time for sports now, and the national under-20 soccer team Rising Stars will host Tanzania tomorrow in the final of the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations CECAFA qualifiers in Dar es Salaam. The Kenyan boys, coached by Salem Babu, have already booked a ticket to next year's under-20 Africa Cup of Nations after a commanding 4-0 win over Burundi in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Uganda will battle it out with Burundi for third place at the KMC Stadium.
Nafasi ndio weka ndani anashokoti. Anasema anatumia akili sana. Anashokoti. Hassan Kisao sasa. Hassan Kisao sijui itakuwaje. Hassan Kisao kataa kule mlinda mlango, lakini basi anakwenda kuhakikisha kule kwenye chuma cha pili. Chuma cha pili, Hassan Kisao. Hassan Kisao. Kibeti anamo. Kibeti we. Hadi ni Kibeti.
Kenyan champions Nairobi City Thunder suffered their first defeat after narrowly losing 89-88 to Burundi's Urunani in Group D of the East Division's Road to Basketball Africa League qualifiers in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The victory extends Urunanians. That story now puts a cap on what you had lined up for you. Time for me to exit and sit ground for the next program. This has been KBC Lunchtime News. I'm Doreen Arangi, and Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon.
dancing like this. Atoti, sonoka, sonoka. Atoti, sonoka, sonoka.
Ati kumwamini? Yaani uamini mwanaume? Ache sasa.
Kama hii song inaiba kwa mwedwa wako Mariro. Mariro, yani that rap song.
Kenyanjui, is that a rap song?
What I mean is, punguza umama. Wacha wasichana tuongee.
You are the one from America. Yeah, I did story from Africa. And then go to America. Oh, yo, yo.
There are no victims. We only have clients or clientele. As soon as she lands here safely, she'll be the next client.
Sasa, what does Trish have to do with this?
Nakapoa maskipo.